Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason. Speaking here in my bedroom in the great state of Kansas. And in today's video, we're concluding my top 100 favorite albums list, my third edition of this list I've made on the channel. And we're going through 25 to number 1 on my list, top 25 albums at this moment of all time. Though I have to put two kind of disclaimers because I found out that two albums I didn't put on my list and I forgot. And see, one is Thriller by Michael Jackson. Yeah, I didn't put it on my list, and that probably should be on my top 100 favorite albums list, but I forgot about it. And also, The Times They Are Changing by Bob Dylan. That's my favorite Bob Dylan album, and I forgot to put it on here, and I got some other Bob Dylans on here. So, fortunately, I'm not going to redo the list just for those two albums, but I'll just try to hopefully remember them for the next time. Because, I'm going to make another list in the future because I'm still listening to new albums all the time and, experiencing new stuff. And so the list is always changing anyways, but that'll be for a future day. But this is my top 25 at this moment. So number 25 is Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme by Simon Garfunkel. I'm a huge Simon Garfunkel fan. I think all 5 albums are actually pretty good to being some of the greatest albums, including this one. I mean, their harmonies are just so amazing. They're the greatest duo of all time. And Paul Simon's one of the greatest songwriters of all time. And yeah, this is just an amazing album that's really grown on me over time. The more I hear it, the more I absolutely love this album. It goes up my list. I'm pretty sure this is the highest I've had on my list so far. But yeah, it's got some other big hits on here, including Scarborough Fair, the title song where you get the Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme lyric in there is one of the best harmony songs of all time. I have a duo where they're just, it feels like they're showing off of how good they are at harmonies and how good their voices blend in together. That's such a great example of how well their vocals blend so well. Yeah, love how they go in rounds and stuff like that on that song. Cloudy is such a good kind of hidden gem song. It's so darn catchy and the harmony is so great. Then Homeward Bound. Homeward Bound's, yeah, that's a top 10, maybe top 5 favorite Paul and Simon song. Absolutely love that song. It's probably the biggest hit maybe off this album. And you got 59th Street Bridge song, Feeling Groovy. Another just such a laid back, chill song and so iconic as well. For Emily, wherever I may find her, another great hidden gem, really showcasing Art Garfunkel's great tenor voice on that one. I think does such a great job. And then the closer I like, 7 O'Clock News, Silent Night. It's Silent Night with the news stories like being told over as they sing Silent Night. It's a really cool thing. I've heard every Christmas they do this. They update it for like more recent news stories. But it is a really cool closer, kind of haunting in a way with the Silent Night song over the news stories. Anyway, so really cool to close the album. But yeah, fantastic album here at number 25. Number 24, we got one of probably my favorite 90s album. I was going to say one of the more recent albums, even though it's 30 years old. It's like 31 years old. But that's What's the Story? Morning Glory by Oasis. And this has such a nostalgia, such a soft part. Means a lot to me, I guess, because this was the first album I bought when I was a kid, and first CD I bought of a band. And it's really only because I heard this one song. In 1995, I said before, was the year that I first discovered music through Jagged Little Pill, which is on my top 100 favorite albums list. Jagged Little Pill was kind of my entry to 90s music. And then I started listening to the radio station, listening to all the current, his music, the rock songs, pop songs, all that, and still really got into what was coming out. And What's the Story? Morning Glory, I didn't know the album so much, but I heard the song Wonderwall. Of course, it was a huge hit. It was all over the radio, and it was on all the time, and I absolutely love that song. That was like one of my favorite songs. Probably my favorite song at that point when I heard it. I was like, oh, I love this song. I didn't know who Oasis was or anything. And so I went to this, when I got enough money saved up, I went to the store, Walmart, and bought me What's the Story? Morning Glory. And it was the first album I kind of went and bought out for myself and listened to the heck out of that. And not only do you have Wonderwall, which I still think it's people say it's overplayed, it's still great. The acoustic guitar at the beginning, I love the vocals on that, super catchy. But then you have Champagne Supernova with Huge on the Radio. That's a cool, long, like epic kind of ballad almost. Is great. And then Don't Look Back in Anger is my favorite Oasis song now. And it's such a catchy rock song. Again, that chorus is so amazing. The guitar playing is so great on it. I love all of it. Yeah, so I had like 3 huge hits on that. But there are so much more than just those hits. Some might say, oh my gosh, that's such a catchy song as well. Could have been a hit song too. Um, I think the kind of the title track is also just their heaviest rock song probably on the album, and it's really good and catchy. And yeah, it's just a lot of every song. I love every song on this album. They're all just super catchy, kind of pop rock, part of that Brit pop, coming in. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really made me an Oasis fan right away. And I'm so happy I still love this album, even 31 years later, after I first bought this album as a, like 12-year-old. It's still one of my favorite, still stands the test of time. So that's number 24. Number 23, we have You Don't Mess Around with Jim by Jim Croce. This is my favorite Jim Croce album. This was my favorite album of, I think it was 73 when it came out. This was my favorite album of that year when we did our top 10 albums of the year. Yeah, I love Jim Croce. He's one of my favorite folk singers, and I love folk music. And he only put out 3 albums, although pretty good albums. This is definitely the best one, I think. It has some of my all-time favorite songs on it. It's almost like a greatest hits in some senses. And even the title song, I'm not even like the hugest fan of, and that was like his big hit, one of his huge hits on here. And I love Jim Croce's voice. He's got such a laid-back voice, I think. And there's some great acoustic guitar playing all over this album as well. I'm in 1972. I said 73. This came out 72. It's my favorite album, 72. But New York's Not My Home. These are all like top 10 like Jim Croce songs for me. I love that song. Photographs of Memories. Oh my gosh, it's one of the best written songs that he's done. I love songs about nostalgia and looking, in the past and the future and all that. And that's a great one, talking about, looking at photographs and having all these memories. And it's just a beautiful written song. And then Operator, that's not the way it feels. I mean, definitely one of his all-time biggest hits. And yeah, the acoustic guitar playing is just so amazing. And it's so catchy. The operator can make this call. And I love the storytelling. There's like really fun storytelling in that song, and just a great chorus. Absolutely love that song. And then my favorite Jim Croce song is also on this album. I mean, all those are top 10 songs, even top 5 songs, of his. But Time in a Bottle is my favorite Jim Croce song. One of my favorite songs of the 70s. I mean, I love that beginning part with the high picking, dun, 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 whatever. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's so beautiful, that melody. And if I had a time in a bottle. It's a great love song. It's like one of the best love songs about, if I had all the time in the world, I would spend it with you. That's basically it. Yeah, just beautifully written. One of the best written songs ever anyway. So all that, yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic folk album. At number 22, we have Bad Out of Hell by Meatloaf, the debut song by Meatloaf, his big famous, album with all his big hits on it. I know this album is very divisive. I've come across a lot of people that absolutely hate this album. I think it's terrible. And then some people like me absolutely love this album. I think it's one of the best. It came out in 1977. It's an interesting album because it's only 7 songs long. It's a very short album. I mean, as far as how many songs. Some of the songs are long, though. But, I mean, it's not a short album because of length, but a short album for how many songs are on there. But all 7 songs are great, and it feels like a rock opera. Like, feels like you're listening to a more musical, than just a, rock or pop album. It's very theatrical in its presence. And because of Meatloaf, it had a very musical theater type background, I think that plays off of that. I love Meatloaf's voice. I think he has such a unique voice, amazing voice that really works on these songs. And of course, John Steinman, I believe, Jim Steinman, who does the piano playing, does some great piano playing all over this. There's some good ballads on here, some great rock songs, very epic. My favorite is Paradise by the Dashboard Light. I absolutely love that song. Lyrically, it's just so funny of a song, I think. And I love the back and forth between Meatloaf and the female, who's playing the character, you know, of, I just love, I don't know, the idea by, you know, just about teenagers like trying to have sex in the back of a car, and her saying, you know, stop right there, you gotta tell me you love me before I do anything. And then he has to make the decision, do I tell her I love her just so I can sleep with her, or do I, you know, I don't want to tell her that because I don't love her, but yet I want to sleep with her. Anyway, that back and forth is so fun. The vocals are amazing. It's a super catchy song too. It's just incredibly catchy. I get a blast out of that song every time I hear it. 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad. It's another great song. It's more of a sad ballad. Another very well written song though, and very catchy. I absolutely love You Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth, Hot Summer Nights. Again, it's a super catchy song, and that chorus is so great. You took the words right out of my mouth. Oh man, it's such an amazing, kind of pop song out of here. And then you got Bat Out of Hell. The opener is this cool, long intro, but it's really cool, very epic, really rocking. I think it's an excellent song as well. And even like for crying out loud, Heaven Can Wait's a really great ballad on this album. And these aren't the hits, but every song is so good. And the top 3 are just some of the best music, I think. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's like short, sweet. Every song hits for me. So, yep, that's Bat Out of Hell, number 22. Number 21, we got Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. It might be surprising didn't make my top. I think it was in my top 20 last time. It barely misses out this time. Even though I love that album, there's just so many albums I love, it's hard to really figure out which ones go first. This is obviously their huge album that sold a lot of records. This also came out in 1977, so you can kind of tell my top 2 favorite albums of 77 are right here, right back to back, with Bat Out of Hell and Rumors. And both of them sold incredibly well that year. I mean, it was a good year for music. And yeah, this is the typical favorite Fleetwood Mac album, and I'm with everybody. It just has so many darn good songs. It's like the perfect combination of all their voices and songwriting abilities. I mean, I say I love the band for the fact that you have like Nicks and McVie and Buckingham all can write and sing, and it gives a different flavor. And again, this just has so many darn hits on it. I mean, including Dreams is one of my all-time favorite Fleetwood Mac songs, and I love Stevie Nicks' voice on that. Super memorable, super catchy. Never Going Back Again has Buckingham, some of his best guitar playing. The acoustic guitar playing on that is so good. These are both like top 10 Fleetwood Mac songs right there. And then of course you got Don't Stop, which is a big hit on theirs, and Go Your Own Way. I absolutely love that song. Another top 5 Fleetwood Mac with Buckingham. Really super catchy. Love the drumming on that. It's so good. The Chain is my all-time favorite Fleetwood Mac song. Love that. It's just an epic song. The harmonies are so good. The bass playing, the drumming. It's just the perfect combination of everybody on that one. But you also have You Make Loving Fun, I Don't Want to Know, Oh Daddy, Gold Dust Woman. It's like almost the whole album is hit songs. It's just so crazy. And so yeah, so it lays there at number 21 on my list. Number 20, we have Hotel California by the Eagles. My favorite Eagles album. And again, I'm just a huge fan of Eagles. I love, again, their harmonies are some of the best ever, but also some great guitar playing. We add Joe Walsh this time around, which I think adds a lot when you have 2 incredible guitar players, Joe Walsh and Don Fielder. And yeah, it's got my favorite song and most iconic song, Hotel California, is, yeah, it's a typical one, but I love that. Just the playing, just the atmosphere of that song is so good. Don Henley's vocals, of course, great. And then my favorite part is that double guitar solo at the end is so incredible. I absolutely love that, how they end that song with that one. But New Boy in Town, I think it's called, is a great song by them. Another kind of hit song by them that has showcased how good they are at harmonies. You also have Life in the Fast Lanes, kind of their bigger rocker song in there, which has a great guitar riff to it. Shows, again, how good musicians are. I love them because they have that great combination of harmonies, songwriting, and musicianship that I love out of this band. Even the non-hit songs, I think, are also pretty good. Sorry, New Kid in Town was the name of the song. I was trying to do it by memory. Like I said, that was great. But like Last Resort, the closer is a great ballad to close the album out. But yeah, I love everything from Wasted Time. I even don't mind it that there's an instrumental reprise because it's not very long, so it doesn't hurt at all. Victim of Love, I think, is very good as well. So yeah, it's like only 9 songs. The hits are amazing. Even the deep cuts, I think, are pretty good. I just love the Eagles sound, and so that's why it makes it in my top 20. Number 19, we have Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies. Yeah, very interesting album. Zombies only made 2 albums during their peak period, and then they broke up. And they made this album right before they broke up, and it is the best, how should you say, Baroque pop album of all time. There's so much Baroque pop style in here, and I absolutely love it. It sounds amazing. I love the vocals. The 2 vocalists have great tenor voices. There's some great harmonies throughout this album. And it's just, yeah, I just love the Baroque pop sound of this album. Of course, you have their biggest hit song. My favorite song of theirs is Time of the Season to close the album. It has a great opener closer, actually, with the closer, Time of the Season. Yeah, it's so good. That Time of the Season, bum, 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 bum. It's just a unique sound that they have, I think, and they really showcase on that. It's so darn catchy, and the harmonies are amazing. But the opener, Carousel 44, my second favorite song on this album, is also amazing. Should have been a huge hit for them, but super catchy. Again, I just love that Baroque popness of it. The vocals and everything is great. Rose for Emily, great. Maybe After He's Gone. Brief Candles. I'm just naming, these are all just amazing songs. And it's crazy, none of these were hits except for Time of the Season, but all these songs are just amazing and showcases how good, and just crazy that Zombies break up. And it's like, I would love to hear more albums like this. I wish Zombies could put together more Odyssey and Oracle type albums, because this one album is just way better than I think anybody ever expected to. It feels like one of those albums that I'd never heard of growing up, and then as I got into YouTube, more and more people talked about this album. So it seems like the casual person probably never doesn't know anything about this album or how good it is. It's more of the people that are really into albums that have come across it, and I think everybody kind of agrees. Anybody I've heard come across the album agrees this is such a great album. But I love I Want Her, She Wants Me, This Will Be Our Year is also amazing out of all these. But it's a short album because it's the 60s. None of the songs are very long. They're just super catchy. Love the overall sound of this album. So much that every time I hear it, it seems to go up my list, and it's here at number 19. Number 18, we have A New World Record by ELO, or Electric Light Orchestra. My favorite Electric Light Orchestra album. And this was another band that I didn't discover until like when I started this YouTube channel, and didn't know this album or anything. And once I discovered it, oh my gosh, it was like, how did I not know about this album earlier? Of course, I loved, this is my, I think I have 2 of their albums maybe on my list. Discovery was my other album, but they have a lot of good albums. But this one definitely my favorite. Love the combination, Jeff Lynne's, love the combination of his vocals and great harmonies as well, and the orchestra music. It's just so epic, the orchestra music. The album starts off and you think you're like listening to like Phantom of the Opera. It's like this incredible epic music, and then all of a sudden it just crescendos right into this great guitar riff, whatever, into the first song. You're like, oh my gosh, like I thought I was listening to Phantom of the Opera, and now I'm listening to a cool rock song, which is Tightrope. Tightrope, amazing opener. Telephone Line, my all-time favorite. That was such an eye-opener. My all-time favorite ELO song. The first time I heard it, I was like, if this was a hit song, I never heard it growing up, listening to the oldie station. And when I heard it, I was like, this is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. Like, how have I not heard this song? It is so freaking good. Love the different changes of the tempo. There's almost like a doo-wop section, and then it goes into that, oh, telephone line, give me a sign, living in twilight. Oh my gosh, that chorus is so, like the pre-chorus into the chorus is so amazing. The harmonies are so amazing, so catchy. I just absolutely love that. It's like one of my favorite songs now of the 70s, I guess. One of the best scars ever had. Anyway, so yeah, love that. But Rockaria is amazing. So Fine, Living Thing, another one of their big hits. Seems like not a big hit, but it's one of those songs that I hear a lot of people react to. I think it's one of their absolute best. Like to me, like Telephone Line, Tightrope, Living Thing, maybe the 3 best songs they ever did. And Duya, Shangri-La, also very catchy as well. So yeah, amazing album. Great use of orchestra music, and I love that so much. So yep, New World Record number 18 on the list. Number 17, we have Tapestry by Carole King. I don't know if it's Tapestry or Tapestry. I always forget how to pronounce it. This is her humongous record that has all of her huge hits on it, and came out in 1971. Won the Grammy for Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Record of the Year. Won all the Grammys. Was one of the biggest. And this is 71, where he had a lot of huge albums come out. It's the best year of music. And Tapestry was the one that won all the Grammys, and definitely showcases how, one thing, Carole King, one of the great songwriters of all time, writing hit songs for other groups way before she even did this album. Also a great piano player, and also a really good singer. I think almost underrated. I think people think of her songwriting more, but man, she can really sing as well. And some of that was because some of these songs were even made more famous by other people. Including You Make You Feel Like a Natural Woman, the closer, which is great. Her version is great. Aretha Franklin had the big hit off of it, but I love her version as well. It's really great. And then also, maybe the biggest song off of here, You've Got a Friend, which James Taylor also took the song, put on his album that year, Blue Horizons, I think it's called, and it won the Grammy for like Song of the Year, which is kind of crazy. Her version's great. James Taylor's, they're both great versions of the song, but James Taylor's probably more well known because it won the Grammy and everything. But yeah, I love that song on here. I Feel the Earth Move is another big hit on here. So Far Away is my favorite song of hers. It's so, her vocals, the piano playing, just kind of the songwriting, and just kind of what it's about, someone being far away and missing them. It's Too Late, another amazing song, another hit one for her. Where You Lead is so darn catchy. It was a theme song to Gilmore Girls, which I used to watch back in the day. So I always remember that. Where You Lead. Yeah, Where You Lead was the theme song there. Will You Love Me Tomorrow, another absolutely amazing song, big hit. This is just a great piano ballad kind of album, except for maybe I Feel the Earth Move is more upbeat, more rocker, but everything else is just some of the best piano ballads I've ever heard in my life. That's why it's up here. Smack Water Jack also not much of a ballad either. Even Tapestry, I think, is a really beautiful song. That's not a hit song off here, but yeah. Like I said, how many hit songs are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at least half this album are like huge hits. It's just incredible what she's done with this album, why it was such a huge album too for the time. Yep. And number 17. Number 16, this album was in my top 10 last time, but it fell back to number 16, and that is Pet Sounds by Beach Boys. Yeah, this is a hard one. It's absolutely an amazing album. It's the Beach Boys' best album. Has some of my favorite Beach Boys songs on it as well. I think it fell a little bit this time around because as I was reevaluating these albums, it does have a couple, I think, instrumentals in there, which I'm not big on instrumentals. And even some of the other songs are decent, but not top notch necessarily. But that's still to say, this is just an amazing album, including my favorite Beach Boys song. And be frank, a top probably 5 favorite song of all time on this album. God Only Knows. I'm not the only one to say that. It's not a hot take. God Only Knows, just one of the most amazing pop songs ever written, and has some of the best harmonies ever with that. God only knows what I'd be without you. And then the other voices come in. God only knows. I love when all the voices come in at the end and they just do this round of of these different, lyrics that just all blend together. It's just the best ever done in that way, I think. And but I even just love the whole idea that God only knows what I'd be without her. It's such a great line. Even the first line, will I always love you or something like that. And this idea of I don't know if we'll always be in love kind of thing. And then incredibly written song by Brian Wilson. And also just ideas of what good would living be, if I didn't have you. I don't know. I just love a lot of those lyrics in here. Yeah, beautiful song, but Also, you have the title or the beginning song, the opener is absolutely amazing. Wouldn't it be nice? What a great way to open the album with that big dun 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 dun. Wouldn't it be nice if we... Right away, super catchy, incredible, absolutely incredible harmonies on that. And then Sleep John B, another huge hit. Weird song title, but another just absolutely catchy song. I mean, those are 3 top 10 like Beach Boys songs right there. I also really like Caroline No. I think is a really great song that wasn't a hit, but Caroline No, beautifully sung. But there's stuff like you still believe in me. That's not me. Again, a lot of these songs have so many good harmonies. I'm trying to look I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, I think is really great as well. But yeah, it's one of those where, man, it really showcases how good the harmonies are, showcases just how deep the writing is, because it's like the only album I know, it seems like up to that point, that wasn't, almost everything was about surfing or about girls or about cars, and stuff like that. And this is one was like, felt like very deep in its writing, which I liked. And just the good use of the high harmonies, the high tenor voices of the Beach Boys were used very well in this anyway. So yeah, it's a huge hit album, or it's widely loved by everybody for a good reason. It's a great album. And though it's not my top 10, number 16 is still, I absolutely love that album. Number 15, we have Let It Be by the Beatles. Of course, being a big Beatles fan, so I got my Beatles shirt today. I almost want to say it's an underrated album. It's their last album that came out. And I feel like this is down on a lot of people's lists as far as the Beatles albums go. And that's because maybe a couple, you got Maggie May and Dig It, which are just kind of weird, funny songs that aren't very long. And I personally don't like the one after 9/9, I believe, is on this album. Not that great, but take that away, it has some of the best music they've ever put together, including Let It Be. It's my second favorite Beatles song. Again, it's up there with God Only Knows, one of the greatest songs I've written. Love the piano, love just the gospelness of it, and just that feels like a very emotional song too. Just that let it be, speaking words of wisdom. But that piano, bum 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 da da da. It's just so, every time I hear it, it just gives me chills. It's so good. I absolutely love that song. And then Long and Winding Road, I think, is also a great piano ballad. Amazing writing. Again, love the orchestra music on that actually as well. I think really helps it out. But just the whole idea of, the life is like a big winding road, but it always comes back to you in the song. So it's kind of a nice love song as well. But I love, those are 2 top 5 favorite Beatles songs of all time. So you're telling me this album has 2 of my top 5 favorite Beatles songs? Yeah, it's gonna be high on my list. That's why it's here at number 15. But you also have 2 of Us is an amazing opener, great guitar playing, great use of both John and Paul's voice singing together. Again, shows why they're the greatest duo of all time. Across the Universe is also amazing. I've Got a Feeling. Get Back, I think, is a really fun rock song on here. And I even really like Dick a Pony. I think it's really great. And I Be Mine, I think it's very underrated. I think a really good song. So yeah, there's just some amazing songs on this album that I keep going back to. So it's here at number 15, Let It Be. Number 14, this was also in my top 10 last time, but it fell out a little bit. And that is the album Who Are You by The Who. It's such an underrated album. Really the last really great album by The Who. Obviously, The Who Are You, the closer, the title song, is one of their most iconic. That bum 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 da da. Who are you? Who? Everybody's heard that. Love it because it plays off of their name. Their band is Who, and this is Who Are You. So I love how it plays off of that. But yeah, again, great use of the synthesizer on that song. It's great. But everything else is deep cuts, and they're some of the best deep cuts they ever did, including Guitar and Pen. It's a top 10 Who song for me now. And I never knew that song until I heard this album. Guitar Pen, if you haven't heard it, hear that song. It is absolutely amazing. Super catchy, great guitar playing. Love it. But everything on side 2, I think, is amazing. And I said this before, and I guess, I'm famous in my group for saying this, and everybody kind of agrees with me now. or has agreed with me with saying that side 2 is one of the best side 2s I've ever heard on an album. Only 4 songs, all 4 songs are amazing. Trick with the Light, Guitar and Pen, Love is Coming Down, and Who Are You? Oh my gosh, those 4 right in a row I couldn't believe it. I remember hearing this album for the first time and going, I was going through the first side is good too. I think New Song is great, Music Must Change. Everything is really good on the first side. I thought, yeah, this is a solid first side. I'm enjoying what I'm hearing. And the second side, I remember going Trick with the Light. I was like, wow, this might be my favorite song on the album. I think this is so good. And then I heard Guitar and Pen and go, no, wait a minute, this is my favorite song. And then Love is Coming Down. I was like, wow, this might be my favorite song. And then Who Are You? I was like, yeah, this is definitely my favorite song. It is my favorite song on the album. It's hard to beat Who Are You, but Trick of the Light, Guitar and Pen, Love is Coming Down, very close to being like a top song on this album. I mean, that's my top 4 favorite songs on the album. And some of it's great rock music, some of it's actually more ballad type music. I think Love's Coming Down is maybe more ballad type. Man, this is why they're one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Just the musicianship is out of this world. Like Keith Moon's drumming, untwisted bass playing, Townshend's guitar playing. It's just some of the best ever. And they really showcase it on this album. And it's not even my favorite Who album. And like I said, it was in my top 10 last time. It's hard. All these albums could be top 10s for me. It's really hard to pick which ones. But for right now, it is at number 14. So I barely missed out. But man, again, my list probably will change a lot. Every time I do this list, different albums I put in my top 10 and take out. I love them all. Anyways, let's go to number 13. Number 13 is Led Zeppelin 4, as my friend Brian likes to call it, Man with Sticks. And some call it the Untitled album because there is no title, but mostly it's known for Zeppelin 4. That's the easiest way to say it. And the more I thought of this album, the more I just, I had to put it up really high on my list because it has my favorite song of theirs, and again, like top 5 best song of all time, Stairway to Heaven. I mean, I know people say it's played too much. I don't care. It's so epic. The way it starts with the acoustic ballad style and then gets a little bit more faster paced and the guitar playing and everything. And then we get into one of the great rock sections of any song. What's the drumming? Oh my gosh, the drumming is so good. John Bonham, definitely one of the greatest drummers of all time. With that to-do, and everybody's on the road where like, oh my gosh, that drumming right into Plant singing. And then you got a great guitar solo as well by lead guitar player Jimmy Page. It's just absolutely amazing. I've heard that song so many times. I still will say it's one of the greatest, but a lot of great stuff on this album. I love Black Dog. I think it's one of their best rock songs. I just love how he sings a cappella and then the like that whole guitar part. Then right back to Robert Plant's, a cappella vocals. I just love that dynamic there. And then you got Rock and Roll, which is another huge hit off of them. Great rock song as well. Misty Mountain Hop is amazing. Love how that's it's so good. Going to California is another favorite of mine. One of their best, more acoustic songs. And I love that they go more acoustic on that one and showcase Plant's vocals range a little bit more. He's just not, belting it out, but he's a little more laid back on that song, and it sounds amazing. Love the acoustic guitar playing; it's so good on there. Yeah, amazing song too. And then When the Levee Breaks, it's a really cool, more bluesy closer. I'm not a blues guy, but yeah, I think it's a pretty cool song. Just has a great groove to it anyway. So yeah, Led Zeppelin, The Who, some of the greatest. They're kind of back and forth between some of my favorite rock bands of all time. So of course their albums are going to be high up on here, including this is my favorite Led Zeppelin album. So it's here, number 13. Number 12, we got Bridge Over Troubled Waters by Simon Garfunkel. This is about the same where it was, I think, last time. It was in my top 10 on my first list, but last list and this list, it just barely kind of misses out. Again, I love Simon Garfunkel. I already talked about them. This is my favorite of theirs. It's their last and kind of great album closer for the band, which is too bad because, man, they only made 5 albums, all really good stuff. This is big for good reason. I mean, it was album of the year for 1970 and song of the year for 1970 for Bridge Over Troubled Waters, which is absolutely beautiful song and one of the best vocal works by Art Garfunkel, of course. Absolutely nails it, and great piano work and great songwriting by Paul Simon. That's why I just like the perfect trifecta, why it won Song of the Year. But there are so many other great songs on this album, including The Boxer. The Boxer is another top five, probably Simon Garfunkel songs of all time. Great storytelling about a boxer being like, coming in and having trouble and all that. And maybe New York, whatever they are, probably New York. But that la 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 la. Oh, love that. Just love the overall sound of the song. It's amazing. Some of Paul Simon's best work. I mean, come on. Cecilia. It's maybe my favorite catchy, upbeat tune they've ever done. Every time I hear it, it just makes you happy. It just love the instrumentation on that. But just feels so. I just love how upbeat it is. Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. It's so fun. It's such a fun song. Love that. It was kind of more the bigger hits. El Contrapasso is really good as well. Keep the Customer Satisfied is one of their best deep cuts. I know my friend Nick, that's his favorite Simon Garfunkel song. It is good. It is so good. It's crazy because it's like no one's probably ever heard that song unless you listen to this album or you're a big Simon Garfunkel fan. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. So Long for Chloe Bride, I think it's a really beautiful ballad as well on here. The Only Living Boy in New York, another absolutely amazing song. These are all like songs that are either in my top 10 or they're like honorable mentions of some of my favorite Simon Garfunkel songs all the time. What hurts this album mostly is like the last part of the album I'm not as big on. Like the Bye Bye Love live song is kind of weird to have on here. But Why Don't You Write to Me, Song for the Asking, is definitely the weakest stuff on here. But that's the last three songs. But 1 through, 7? Or 8, yeah, those first 8 songs, though, are just absolutely amazing. Some of Simon Garfunkel's best stuff. And again, when you have Bridge Over Troubled Waters and The Boxer and Cecilia on the same album, come on, this is one of the greatest albums of all time. Number 11, we have Poems, Prayers, and Promises by John Denver. Another great album from 1971. I mean, there's just so many I have so many albums from 1971 on my list. I mean, it's a great year, like I said. And this is my favorite John Denver albums. I got 3 of them on my list. All amazing. And he's one of my favorite artists. Again, love his folk music writing. Love his vocals are so good. And this has some of my favorite songs on it, including my favorite song, which is Sunshine on My Shoulders. So beautiful. It's a beautiful acoustic kind of ballad that has some orchestra at the end. But I just love the overall melody and just like it makes you just happy thinking about sunshine. I don't know. I love it. Obviously, you have Take Me Home Country Roads, one of his biggest hits. Most well-known songs of all time. No question about it. And it's great. It's definitely a great song. Super catchy. And I love just his songwriting about being from the Midwest myself. I just love all these songs about nature and about being on the road. It just reminds me of being at home, in some senses. Even though I'm not from Colorado or West Virginia or whatever. Poems, Prayers, and Promises, another top 5 song for me from him. Just great songwriting, sitting around a campfire talking about life. Absolutely love it. Then I guess he'd rather be in Colorado. Another really great song on here. And then there's some good covers here. Let It Be and Fire and Rain are in Junk. Really great covers. I absolutely love his covers on here. My Sweet Lady is also amazing as well. The only problem about this album, and as my friend Nick would say, it's that darn box. It's not a song, it's a poem. He reads a poem called The Box to close out the album. It's a terrible closer. Wish they would have just kept it off because it's just some hippie, liberal, probably, poem, whatever. And it's like, why close such a great album with such a weird poem thing at the end? But taking that away, oh my gosh, one of the greatest folk albums in my opinion, and John Denver's best music. So many, like I said, 3 pretty big hits, and then some great covers. Yeah, it's amazing. That's why it barely misses out in my top 10 at number 11. All right, so we're in my top 10 favorite albums of all time. I will admit my maybe my 7 through 1 hasn't changed. It's hard to change because those are always going to be some of my favorite. But there are some changes in my 8 through 10 and a little bit anyways. So we'll go through that here in my top 10 favorite albums of all time. At number 10, we got Room for Squares by John Mayer. This came out in 2001. I was maybe a junior or senior in high school when this came out. I just remember just thinking this music was so great. I love the acoustic guitar playing on here. I love his vocals. I think some really good songwriting as well. He had a couple of kind of hit songs on the radio. The first one was No Such Thing. Still one of my all-time favorite John Mayer songs. It's just so catchy. And again, just love the acoustic guitar on there, the way he strums. And his vocals are so good. I remember just being blown away first time I heard that song in high school and just going, who is this guy? Never heard John Mayer. And it's that really opened me up. And then you had Why Georgia, I think is another absolutely amazing song on here. It's so catchy, that Why Georgia, why? And then again, great acoustic guitar playing. My Stupid Mouth is really fun. That's a funny kind of song, but super catchy as well. And then Your Body's a Wonderland. I've heard some people hate the song. It's a little cringe, just the subject matter. I don't know. I always loved it. I thought it was, again, very catchy. I thought some clever lyrics in here as well. And it's just kind of a sweet love song in the end. But those first 4 songs are, man, some of the best music he's ever written, and some of my favorite of his, and some of my favorite music of the 2000s, I would say. Absolutely love those 4. And when I first heard this album, I just remember being blown away because I love the overall sound. And it's one of those, even today when I listen to it, it's every song is good. There's not a bad song here. I just love everything in here. And I love it's just really acoustic guitar album for his first album, because some of his other albums have more of a blues rock feel to it. But this, I think, is my favorite because it's more, I don't know if I'd call it folk. It's a bit maybe pop. It's maybe more of a pop album, I guess you can say, with some folk maybe a little bit in there. But I just love the whole album of acoustic guitar playing and just writing just great pop music that's super catchy. I think, like I said, I think very well written. And then I love his voice. And yeah, I think it's great. Like I said, Neon, City Love, 83, everything. The whole album is just absolutely amazing. It's been in my top 10 since I've made these lists. Still here in my top 10, Room for Squares, making it right in the 10th spot. Number 9, this is a new album into my top 10, and it's been very high on my list, but this time I've brought it into my top 10, and that is Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles. This is another one. This and Let It Be, I always feel are somewhat underrated. I love these albums much more than Abbey Road or Sgt. Pepper's. And those are usually the 2 albums everybody talks about. Abbey Road and Sgt. Pepper. Those are the 2 greatest Beatles albums. And I'm man, and people I don't think appreciate Let It Be and Magical Mystery Tour enough, in my opinion. Because when I go through their albums, I always come to those 2 albums as 2 of my favorites. Not my absolute favorites. I actually have a couple more Beatles albums on my list. I actually have 4 Beatles albums in my top 10. That's because I'm a huge Beatles fan. But Magical Mystery Tour just always been right on the outside, at 11 spot, 12 spot on my list. But going back, I was this is going to make it into my top 10 because this is just an album I just can't get enough of. I keep going back to. And I know it's a U.S. album. It's partly, a soundtrack album. And then the last part is just a bunch of their singles that were coming out at the time they put at the end. So I felt like cheating, but to me it's it's an album you can buy and it's a U.S. album. It's not part of the U.K. albums, but it's still considered part of their canon of their 13 albums that they put out. And yeah, they put a bunch of singles, but they're some of the great singles of all time. That's what makes this album into my top 10. I mean, not only the first half is, I think, really good with even the title song, Magical Mystery Tour, is super catchy. Fool on the Hill, I love that song so much. Great piano song by Paul. Great story writing. Love his vocals on that. And then I'm the Walrus, one of the coolest, trippiest songs ever. One of the greatest psychedelic songs ever written. John does with some of the craziest lyrics ever. But I love the orchestra music on that, and it's so catchy. I love I'm the Walrus. Those are kind of 3 of the big hits on the first side. Now there are some, everybody will say, okay, Blue Jay Ray, yeah, not that great. The instrumental on there, not that great. But they don't kill the album for me. I still can get through those two. You know, they're weak. The strong stuff is just so strong. It just, that stuff doesn't hurt the album too much for me. I even like Mother Should Know. I think is actually kind of a nice kind of throwback song in a sense. But that second side is, again, one of the best second sides of all time, especially when you have Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields. I mean, two of my favorite Beatles songs. I mean, they're in my top 15 favorite Beatles songs of all time. And yeah, they're some of the best Beatles songs, some of the best songs ever written. So it's like, man, you got, again, I would say, like, man, you got Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane on the same album. It's going to be really high on my list. I absolutely love those two. But then you also got other great stuff like Hello Goodbye, another #1 hit for them. Really nice, fun, catchy song on there. Baby You're Rich Man, great deep cut on the album. Absolutely love that song as well. And then amazing closer with All You Need Is Love. I mean, yeah, it's a hippie song maybe about love, but it's so darn positive and catchy, and just that all you need is love. It's great. I love it. It's a big hit for them and great closer. So that second side, it's full of some of their big hits at that time. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. I said there's only like 2 songs that I think are not that great, but everything else is just some of the best Beatle music. So that's why it makes here number 9 on my list. Number 8, this album kind of goes back. I think it originally was in my top 10. And then last time it barely missed my top 10, but now I'm putting back in my top 10. And that is Strict Joy by The Swell Season. If you know me, I'm a huge, huge fan of The Swell Season. I love duos as I love Simon Garfunkel, but this is also one of the great duos. Glenn Hansard from Ireland and Markéta Oglova from Czech Republic. And man, do they form a great duo. Him playing acoustic guitar and his vocals, and Markéta's piano playing, and their vocals blend in so well. And it's crazy because Glenn Hansard has some of the best vocal range I've ever heard. He can hit incredible high notes, even higher, it feels like, than Markéta. Sometimes he'll take the high harmonies on a lot of songs, but I just love his voice so much, the way he hits those high harmonies, and his passion. You really feel his passion in his vocals. Like he's the emotion. There's a lot of emotional songs on here, and you really feel it through his voice, and he can really belt it out, I think, better than I've ever heard anybody else on here. He's really like my favorite part of the duo. I think Markéta's fine. She's great when she's with him, but he mostly sings most of the lead. She sings a couple lead songs, but it's mostly him singing lead. And but again, I love when they sing together. But I just love their overall sound. Again, it's kind of part folk, part pop kind of sound, like I mentioned before. And just, yeah, absolutely amazing. It's my style of music. It's like my favorite style of music, I think. Piano, acoustic guitar, great songwriting, great vocals, very catchy music, wonderfully, just beautiful too, just beautifully written music, I think overall. Anyway, so many good stuff here, including Low Rising, Filling the Pool, such a fun, upbeat song, In These Arms, oh my gosh, amazing. Everything is amazing on here. I'm just reading off the sayings. Paper Cup, I think, is great. The Verb. I think Markéta's I Have Loved You Wrong is amazing. That's her best song I think she's ever written for them. And then Two Tongues is my favorite song on here, and a top 5 favorite song of all time by The Swell Season. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just, musically, it's just some of my favorite music. They made 3 albums. All 3 albums are great. They just can't do any wrong for me so far. I wish they would make more albums. Anyways, but yeah. So after thinking about it, yeah, they're in my top 10. I just absolutely love The Swell Season. So that is number 8. Again, next 7 probably never change for me. It's hard to beat out these 7 albums. Number 7, we have Deja Vu by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. I'm a huge fan of Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. It's like the greatest supergroup ever made of 4 incredible musicians and songwriters. Again, I love having multiple people who can songwrite and sing. It gives it such a cool dynamic of different, styles and, singers, I guess you can say. But all, again, it's the greatest harmony group. I love harmonies, and this is my favorite group that has harmonies. I mean, absolutely amazing. Stephen Stills, Dave Crosby, Graham Nash, and Neil Young. Graham Nash, absolutely love his high harmonies that he can throw, and then Neil Young has such a unique voice too. But all four can do some great stuff. Yeah, and this is just a perfect album. I love every song on here, but you have some absolutely huge hits from them, including "Carry On," the opener. Oh my gosh, what a great opener! It's my favorite song on the album, actually. But yeah, just the harmonies of the "Carry On, Love Is," it's so good. Then you got "Teach Your Children," one of Graham Nash's biggest songs there. Kind of a countryish song a little bit, but super catchy. "Helpless," great Neil Young song here. And then you got "Woodstock," written by Joni Mitchell, really great rocker on the album. "Deja Vu," probably the best thing Crosby ever wrote in his life. I think it's a really cool song as well, very unique. Then "Our House," great ballad, great love ballad by Nash, kind of this great piano ballad. Again, I love the difference of rock music, folk rock, ballads, a little country in there. Yeah, but everything is great on this album, including those are some of their best stuff. But I just absolutely love the group and their sound, and this is probably their most famous album, their biggest album, and for good reason. It's just one amazing song after another on here. So number 7. Number 6, we have "Who's Next" by The Who. As I mentioned, the Who Are You? This is one of my favorite bands, and so good. They made some amazing albums with "Who Are You" and "Who's Next." "Who's Next," no surprise, it's my favorite Who album. It's most everybody's favorite Who album. It's one of the greatest rock albums ever put together. Just a masterpiece by, like I said, a group that's just got some of the best musicians I think ever in a rock group, and it's got their 2 best songs. I mean, in the album, great opener closer maybe of all time with Bob O'Reilly beginning it, that synth beginning, oh, so good, and such a catchy song too. And then closing it with my favorite Who song and probably my favorite rock song of all time, "Won't Get Fooled Again." I've talked so much about that song. I can't say much here, but I love that song so much. It is rock masterpiece. I mean, just everything about the guitar playing, the bass playing, the drumming. It's some of the best I've ever heard in a song. And then that synthesizer kind of towards the end into the scream, closing out the song. It's so amazing. But yeah, so you got those 2 amazing songs. But you also have "Behind Blue Eyes," "Bargain," "Right in Tune," as well. So some good ballads on here as well. "The Song Is Over," also absolutely love that song. Another great ballad on here, but everything is great on this album, and it's got some of the best rock tunes of all time. So no surprises, number 6 on my list. Number 5, we're just going back to Crosby, Stills, and Nash with their self-titled album, Crosby, Stills, Nash, coming out 1969. Again, it's hard. If you like Deja Vu, you're going to love this album. And I love this because it has 2 of my favorite songs from them, and one of my top 10 probably favorite songs of all time, "Sweet Judy Blue Eyes," at the beginning of the album. Oh man, I love that. It's the first song I ever heard from them. Again, you're not gonna hear many more better harmonies than that song, and it's just so epic how it goes into 3 different sections. It feels like 3 different songs in one, and all 3 are amazing. It's catchy. Even that ending, do 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 do. In the play, the music, the musicianship is amazing. Just Stephen Stills, the best thing Stephen Stills has ever written in his life, and the best thing they've done together as a group. It just doesn't get better than "Sweet Judy Blue Eyes." But I also love "Helplessly Hoping," more of a slow ballad type, but the guitar picking is so good, and again, harmonies are just amazing. I absolutely love that song. It's my second favorite Crosby, Stills, and Nash song. But you also have "Wooden Ships," another amazing song coming out of this. That chorus is so good on that song. You also have "Marrakesh Express," one of Graham Nash's best songs, super catchy song. "Guinevere," I think, is actually a really beautiful song from David Crosby. I actually like the Crosby and Nash. Their voices together are so good. They make such a great duo on that. Also, "Long Time Gone," another really great song from Crosby on this album. But yeah, it's just one of the best songs. If you love harmonies, you love great melodies, musicianship, everything. It's just like the perfect album for me. So it's here at number 5. Number 4, we have "Band on the Run" by Paul McCartney and Wings. Again, this hasn't changed from my last list. Yeah, another absolute perfect album for me. I'm, of course, a huge Paul McCartney fan. It's my favorite solo artist of all time, and this is my favorite album from him, so that's why it makes it number 4. Iconic. I mean, Band on the Run, one of his best songs. Again, I love the 3 songs in one kind of structure, and the last part is so darn catchy. Yeah, that's amazing. Then it goes right into Jet, which is another super catchy song. Love it. Bluebird is amazing as well. Let Me Roll It. Great guitars. Great guitar riff on that one. Mamunia. Oh man, so catchy. Great harmonies on that one. No Words is amazing. And then closing with 1985, another absolutely amazing song on the album. It's like every song is so good. Even because his last words drink to me, it seems to be like one of the more weaker songs. I still really enjoy that song, Mrs. Vanderbilt. It's just one great song after another. I love Paul McCartney's vocals, and again, some great harmonies throughout this album as well, and some great piano playing on 1985. Yeah, it's just pop perfection, I think, for me. So that's why it's number 4. All right, you know my top 3. It's all Beatles. It's all Beatle albums. My top 3 is never going to change, and it's the albums that come right in a row from 65 to 66. Those 3 albums that come from Help to Revolver. That's my 3. That's my favorite era of the Beatles. My favorite music that they ever made. So number 3, we got Help. Came out 65. This is the earliest one of the 3. And earliest, like I said, Let Be, Magical Mystery Tour kind of come towards the later of the decade. This is more in the middle part of the decade. But man, it's kind of their, almost kind of get into, this is like the album that's very influenced by Bob Dylan. You can tell that the music, they're writing deeper songs in here, while still having that very catchy pop tunes that they're so good at. And the harmonies are amazing as well. Yeah, it has just some of the, as my favorite song of all time, Yesterday. So that helps the album out a lot. I think it's one of the most beautiful things. It is the most beautiful thing Paul McCartney ever written. It's my favorite song that he's ever written. Favorite song the Beatles ever did. I mean, it's just so beautiful. The acoustic guitar playing, the orchestra music. Yeah, love that. But even Help is a great rock opener here. I was going to say, they kind of slowly getting more towards folk rock. I think they hit more with the next album that I'll talk about here. But they're definitely going, I think, deeper, I think, and just more studio work than even Hard Day's Night, which I really think is a great album. But yeah, I said I love like every song on here. Even This Miss Lizzie is not like one of my favorites. It's fine closer, but I wish they would close it Yesterday. But still, that first side is in my top, some of my favorite first sides of all time. When you have songs like Help on there and The Night Before, You're Gonna Lose That Girl is so great. Love that song. You're gonna hide your love away. I'm forgetting the name of the song now. That's one of my all-time favorite John Lennon songs. Again, that feels very Bob Dylan-ish in its writing. I just love the acoustic guitar playing and that. Hey, you've got to hide your love away. Bum, 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 bum. Love that chorus. It's amazing. And then you close it with Ticket to Ride, another one of their best like catchy rock tunes. That guitar playing at the beginning, that drumming, whatever that goes on throughout it. And again, it's a rock song with great harmonies. One of the catchiest things they ever put together. That's First Sight is just, that's why it's in my top 3. It's just gold. It's just so great. But then again, you have Yesterday on the second side. But you also have I've Just Seen a Face is amazing. Another Girl. And then you got one of sorry. You do have one of Ringo's best, I think, with Act Naturally. Great cover song. But you also have George Harrison, one of his best, like, when he was really starting to get at how to write a great song with his big song on there. I Need You, sorry, was the song I was thinking of, which is on the first side, like I said. Love, I Need You. Even like You Like Me Too Much, It's Only Love, Tell Me What You See. I think it's all great. It's just some of the best catchy pop music, rock music ever put together. It's one of those where each song I'm just like, oh, I love this song, I love this song, I love this song. And I love the Beatles, and it's just some of their best music. So here at number 3, but number 2, as I mentioned, next album, Rubber Soul, at number 2 on my list. It's more their folk rock album. It definitely feels like their style is changing a little bit from their earlier pop period. We're getting more heavier rock sounds with, Baby You Can Drive My Car has some great guitar playing on it, and definitely sounds a little bit different, and you got like the fuzzy bass on another song that sounds so much different than anything they've done. And again, very deep album, I think. A lot of deep songs on there, including In My Life, my second favorite third favorite Beatles song of all time, and my favorite on the album, and just one of the greatest ever. Everybody knows that song's one of the greatest. I've never heard anybody say they don't like that song. Again, love it about singing about your life and nostalgia and the reminiscing about the past. It's so great. Norwegian Wood, another absolutely amazing song from John. Great acoustic guitar playing on there, and just great kind of almost again feels more Dylan-ish type music playing. Nowhere Man, some of the best harmonies they've ever done, and yeah, I love that song. Some great guitar playing too in there as well, but just those harmonies are just top notch. Again, George Harrison, one of my favorite George Harrison songs. If I Needed Someone, great harmonies, super catchy, great stuff there. You got Michelle, which was Grammy Song of the Year on there as well. Girl is great. I think Wait is really great and super catchy. It's a really great deep cut. You Won't See, or no, I already said that one. I'm trying to think of it. The two McCartney ones on there are also amazing. Songs I'm thinking are You Won't See Me and I'm Looking Through You. Just great McCartney songs on here. Again, great deep cuts on here, and then the hits are just absolutely amazing. I just love the overall sound of this album. Like I said, I love it's a little heavier in the rock music. The guitars sound heavier, the bass sounds heavier. While still having the great Beatle harmonies and great melodies and great songwriting as well. Like I said, some huge hits on here as well. Anyway, so yeah, number 2, Rubber Soul, and that leaves me with my number 1 favorite album of all time. Has been for a very long time. That is Revolver by the Beatles, coming out in '66, right after Rubber Soul. Man, just a great progression from, I said like Help, kind of getting a little more into Dylan-ish folk rock style music. Rubber Soul being just a really great like folk rock album. And then Revolver goes right into psychedelic as well, while hitting some of the same things Rubber Soul hit. Again, some great rocking tunes on here, some great ballads. It's just, again, it's a perfect album. Every song is just amazing. Some of my favorite Beatles music, including my favorite song on there, Eleanor Rigby. Whoa, what an incredible opener, or not opener, sorry, Taxman is a great opener, which is one of the greatest rock songs ever made. And one of, again, George Harrison, totally nailed. Probably his best album, I think, George Harrison, with that great guitar riff at the beginning with Taxman. What a great rock song. But Eleanor Rigby, oh my gosh, the second song on the album, my favorite song on there, one of my all-time favorite Beatles songs. Just them and orchestra music. Great harmonies with great orchestra music. Works so well. So iconic there. Here, There, and Everywhere, one of the best love songs they've ever written and that Paul's ever written. Love that as well. Then you got kind of some psychedelic with I'm Only Sleeping, some backward guitars, but I love that song. It's such a cool song from John Lennon. And then the closer, some of the best psychedelic music ever, Tomorrow Never Knows. I still love that song, and every time I hear it, I still marvel, like, how did they make the song? All the sound effects put in there, backwards guitars and all that, and it's just a no-nonsense song, kind of, but just the overall vibe of it is so cool, and all the sounds that are put in there really make that song special, I think, and a great closer to the album. And then you got some great rockers like She Said, Andrew Bird Can Sing. Oh my gosh, great guitar riff. Love that song as well. And also another great, one of the maybe most heartbreaking songs For No One that Paul wrote. I still think about today and the lyrics, In her eyes I see nothing, no sign of love behind the tears. Cry for no one, a love that should have lasted years. Some of the best songwriting Paul ever did on that song. Yeah, it's just one bang after another. I Want to Tell You is really great. Dr. Robert I actually really love as well on this album. Love You Too I think is really cool. The only George Harrison like Indian song I like with the sitar. I don't usually like his sitar music, but that one really kind of rocks. But anyways, yeah, this album it rocks. The rock songs are so great. The ballads are amazing. It's just a great use of both sides and some great psychedelic music thrown in there. So Yellow Submarine, you also got Yellow Submarine, great kind of kids song thrown in there as well. one of Ringo's best well-known songs. Yeah, it's just a masterpiece album from the greatest band of all time, the Beatles. So obviously, it's always going to be number one for me. Be so hard to beat it. Even the other Beatles albums are so good. Can't touch this album. It is just amazing. Anyway, so that's my number one, Revolver. And that is the end of my top 100 favorite albums list here. A little over an hour. It's hard to get all this in, but I wanted to try to get these videos in 4 videos, so I didn't want to go through doing 10 videos to get through this list. Get through as quickly as I can, even though these last 2 took over an hour to get through. But I hope you enjoyed that, and hearing my top 100 again. I know it's the 3rd time I've done it, but I'm so happy I get to put this together again. Obviously, it always changes, but except for some of these top ones are always going to be in my top favorite albums of all time. And please feel free to comment what do you think about these albums, what are your favorites as well. And me, Scott, and Briar put our top 100s out. I'm waiting for Nick, and then we can put out another like top 100 albums with the 4 of us. Combining all 4 lists is what my hope is. That's why I put this 100 albums list again, because I kind of want to do that list again with Briar added to the group anyways. But besides that, thank you so much for watching this video and for watching this series. I appreciate anybody that's gone through all of the albums, all 100 albums I've talked about. I really appreciate you guys commenting and all that. Even Mike doesn't know the albums. Appreciate you. And just thank you so much. Thank you to anybody who's liking the video and is watching it, of course. And thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I'm at 395. I'm getting close to 400. Love to get to 400 at some point. Anyways, and besides that, I just hope you have a really great day, and I'll talk to you later.